From ABC, this is World News Saturday. Here's Aaron Brown.
Good evening. The U.S. government is demanding that North Korea release 2 American soldiers whose helicopter was forced down inside North Korea yesterday. The North Koreans say they shot the helicopter down and are interrogating the crew. Army Chief Warrant Officers David Hilleman of Clarksville, Tennessee, and Bobby Hall of Brooksville, Florida. And while that is going on, so are the negotiations to get the 2 men out. Here's ABC's Mark Litke.
The first reports on South Korean television sounded ominous. North Korea's official radio claimed its border gunners had shot down an enemy helicopter, the announcer boasting it took only 1 shot. Yet the report went on to say that the 2 crew members were alive and being interrogated. Almost immediately, American military officials acknowledged that a U.S. Army OH-58 helicopter had apparently crash-landed 3 miles inside North Korean territory, while on a routine mission along the heavily fortified, demilitarized zone. A spokesman here called it an unarmed familiarization flight for a newly assigned pilot.
One of the pilots, of course, is experienced, and the other one would be inexperienced, learning the terrain. That was their mission.
He could not say how or why the chopper strayed into North Korean airspace. Messages have already been sent to North Korea through the usual military channels at the border village of Panmunjom, asking that the pilots be returned unharmed, and there is some optimism that that will happen. Though the U.S. and North Korea were on the brink of confrontation earlier this year over Pyongyang's suspected nuclear weapons program, relations have warmed considerably since North Korea promised to freeze its nuclear program in exchange for diplomatic recognition and economic aid. In fact, just last week, 2 American senators were warmly welcomed in Pyongyang. And tonight, New Mexico Congressman Bill Richardson is visiting the North Korean capital. Both the U.S. State and Defense Departments expect Richardson to act as a conduit in dealing with North Korea over the fate of the 2 pilots. It has been suggested that if the communist state wants to prove its goodwill, Congressman Richardson will be allowed to bring the 2 pilots with him when he leaves North Korea this coming week. Mark Litke, ABC News, Seoul.
For the second time in a matter of weeks, shots have been fired at the White House. This latest incident happened early this morning with the president asleep inside. And if you include the plane that crashed in the White House grounds in September, it is the 3rd breach of White House security in less than 4 months. No suspects in the morning shooting and no known motive either. Here's ABC's Jerry King.
Mr. President, did you hear the gunshots, sir?
Do you feel safe?
If he felt vulnerable, Mr. Clinton did not show it, though he left the executive mansion today from an area hidden from public view. Still, the president's staff sought to play down the shooting.
We don't know whether it was someone firing haphazardly from the ellipse, whether it was someone who was driving by and firing.
Perhaps, but an exhaustive search turned up 2 bullets on the grounds, one on a balcony just below the first family's living quarters. Witnesses report hearing 4 to 6 gunshots, apparently fired from the ellipse, the grassy area south of the White House. Last September, a small plane crashed onto the south lawn just behind the presidential mansion. Just 7 weeks ago, a man fired a hail of bullets at the White House. The alleged gunman was charged with attempting to assassinate Mr. Clinton. Security experts say there is simply no perfect way to protect the president.
If you block the White House off so nobody can see it, you've taken it away from the American people, and it belongs to us. So if you do that, the crazy people have won.
A review of White House security has been underway since the airplane crash in September, but its recommendations are not due until next month. Jerry King, ABC News, the White House.
Still ahead, Jimmy Carter takes his peace mission to the former Yugoslavia. And later in the broadcast, how airlines are coping after a rash of air crashes. And it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's hard to believe what's flying in the skies over Fort Worth, Texas.
World News Saturday, brought to you by Bayer Aspirin.
You get older, and your body starts to feel it. You get smarter, and you know the difference between pain relievers. That's why you get Bayer, the wonder drug, not Tylenol. Both relieve pain, but Bayer aspirin does something Tylenol can't. Only Bayer relieves the inflammation of arthritis when taken regularly. Just ask your doctor. You get older, you get smarter, you get Bayer.
Hey, Remington,
Shave this.
The Remington Triple Foil. The only shaver with 3 narrow micro screens. Remington Triple Foil. If you can grow it, we can shave it.
And for women, a silky smooth shave in or out of the shower. The Remington Wet Dry.
Hey, out in Bullhead City, Arizona, this makes Ace the place.
We're here to help you.
An Ace 6-outlet power strip now only $233. And an Ace 24-piece socket and bit set just $9.99.
Hey, Ace is the place for the helpful hardware folks.
Former President Jimmy Carter is off on another peace mission, this time to Bosnia, where the best efforts of diplomats, government leaders, and soldiers from around the world have consistently failed to end the brutal civil war there. Mr. Carter was invited by the Bosnian Serbs, who have put another peace plan on the table, a plan which, like the Carter visit itself, is being greeted with much skepticism. ABC's Ron Allen tonight in Bosnia.
Today, a sniper's bullet killed 31-year-old Sabrina Gliva while she walked down a main street with her son, despite the Serb promise to stop shooting at civilians. It seems not much has changed in Sarajevo since the Bosnian Serbs announced their peace plan. The UN, which has also been under siege, says its troops are now being allowed to move more freely, but only some of its convoys are reaching their destinations.
I think that basically what we're seeing now is that the Bosnian Serbs are allowing us to operate, but at a bare minimum.
That's why many here, including some UN officials, insist the Bosnian Serbs have failed to meet President Carter's conditions for a visit. The most vocal opponent is the Bosnian government. It would rather see more outside military pressure on the Serbs to accept a peace plan already drawn up by the international community. It is a bad idea for Carter to come based on promises made by the Bosnian Serbs, he says. This will only ruin his reputation. Late today, the Serbs seemed to fulfill an important commitment when a UN military plane was allowed to land at Sarajevo's airport. This vital link to the outside world had been closed for nearly 1 month. There have been so many unsuccessful attempts to make peace here that hardly anyone expects Carter to achieve a major breakthrough. Many here hope the Serbs are not able to exploit the visit and use it to delay while they consolidate their hold on the territory they now control. Ron Allen, ABC News, Sarajevo.
It appears tonight the Kremlin is following through on its ultimatum to the breakaway Muslim Republic of Chechnya. Russian officials threatened to bomb the Chechen capital unless Chechen troops lay down their arms by midnight Moscow time, 4 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time. They did not lay down their arms, so Russian warplanes began buzzing the capital, and there are now some reports that bombing has taken place. ABC's Gillian Finley is joining us now on the phone near the Chechen border. Gillian, what can you tell us about what's going on now?
What we have now is an unconfirmed Reuters report that says that shortly after the deadline expired, just after midnight, there was a series of blasts on the Chechen western border. That's the border with Ingushetia, one of the other autonomous regions in the Russian Federation. Reuters says that at least 7 to 8 planes were heading towards Chechnya. They saw those that were followed by a series of explosions. The Chechens, however, say that in the capital there has been no bombing. Shortly after the deadline, planes did fly over the city of Grozny, but they did not strike. All of this, of course, comes at the end of a week-long standoff during which Russian troops have been moving into Chechnya and attempting to seal off the capital to force the government there to abandon their 3-year independence claim.
Gillian, in about 10 seconds, there was a report that the Chechen government wanted to start peace talks again. What is the status of that now?
Shortly before the deadline, a couple of hours, as a matter of fact, President Dudayev apparently did send a telegram to Boris Yeltsin asking that talks be restarted without preconditions, but there was no reply.
Gillian Finley, thank you for joining us tonight, just outside the Chechen border. One other note here, Time magazine has named Pope John Paul as its Man of the Year. The magazine praised the Pope for promoting his vision of moral living, while so many others are simply complaining about the decline in moral values. And when we come back, an uneasy alliance that's brought a fragile peace to a violence-ridden Chicago housing project, Cabrini Green.
I'm about to perform an amazing act. The act of breathing, made possible by Tavis D.
Prescription-strength Tavis D relieves tough congestion and sneezing for 12 hours so you can breathe easier.
There's nothing else like it.
When he asked what she wore, it was always red door. So sensuous, so alluring, so inviting. Red Door, the irresistible fragrance from Elizabeth Arden. Open it.
Introducing a new green Listerine. New Fresh Burst Listerine. And it not only tastes great, it works great. It kills the germs that cause bad breath. It fights plaque above the gum line. It even fights the gum infection gingivitis. Now, can your mint mouthwash do all that? We don't think so. Get the new taste, new feeling, new sensation of new Fresh Burst Listerine.
If you get heartburn up to here, what you get isn't just heartburn. It's something different. Doctors call it acid reflux, and you need something different. You need regular Gaviscon. Only Gaviscon forms a protective barrier that helps keep stomach acid down, where it belongs. Mylanta can't do this. Regular Maalox can't do this. Gaviscon is the only medicine you can buy without a prescription that can do this. So, to help relieve acid reflux pain, get Gaviscon. It's different from here, all the way to here.
Everybody needs some money sometime. Everybody.
When you need money fast. Hello, Sue. Come to Western Union. We send more money to more people in more places than anyone else. Western Union, the fastest way to send money.
I could have sent the money Western Union. Did you really need the money today? Just tell me. If you had told me you needed the money really fast, I would have sent it Western.
If you didn't send the money Western Union, did you really send the money?
Just tell them to wait.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money.
President Clinton tried to recapture some political ground for Republicans this week by proposing his own middle-class tax cut. He promised to provide the details on how he would pay for it come Monday. If it is true that the devil is in the details, Mr. Clinton's tax cut proposal may face a hellish road ahead. Here's ABC's Jim Engel.
Politicians are falling all over themselves to give taxpayers some of their money back, but they can't cut taxes until they cut spending enough to pay for it.
We are trying to then phase in the tax cut in a way in which we will not increase the deficit. That's the key.
Officials cannot find enough spending cuts right away, so taxpayers would have to wait until the turn of the century to get what President Clinton promised. The $500 tax credit for children, for instance, would only be $200 in 1996, rising $100 a year until the year 2000. The $10,000 tax deduction for advanced education or training would start at only $2,000 and slowly increase over 5 years. Meanwhile, the White House has to find other spending cuts to hold down the deficit. But Ronald Noble, the top law enforcement official at the Treasury Department, told the Washington Post some proposed budget cuts are stupid and completely out of sync with offensives against crime, guns, and drug trafficking. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, which takes the lead in gun control, would lose more than 500 agents, a 25% cut. Customs operations against drug smuggling would also be reduced.
You can't have it both ways. You can't pass the laws and say crime is a big issue and then turn right around and cut 550, 600 agents out of one agency.
12 law enforcement groups sent the president a letter this week asking him to reconsider, just a taste of the many battles to come over cutting down the size of government. Jim Engel, ABC News, Washington.
The competing tax cut proposals and the politics behind them will be the topic tomorrow on This Week with David Brinkley. Among the guests, the incoming majority leader in the House, Dick Armey, and House Democratic leader Richard Gephardt. That's tomorrow on This Week with David Brinkley. It's been another tough week for the airline industry. Another commuter plane went down, this one an American Eagle flight in North Carolina. 15 people died. 2 airlines grounded their commuter flights because of concern about pilot training, and federal officials vowed to impose stricter safety standards on the whole commuter airline industry. A bad week and a bad year for the airlines, big and small. Here's ABC's John Donovan.
There has always been fear of flying, which most of us learn to handle, like these passengers boarding a commuter plane recently despite all that's happened. Then there is the fear of flying, which is what airline operators suffer from in times like these.
Come fly the friendly skies.
Airlines spend big dollars on ads to make us trust them. Then comes a year like 1994. September 8th, near Pittsburgh. October 31st, Indiana. December 13th, North Carolina. These are frightening images. And what frightens the airline industry is that they will hurt business, especially the commuter business.
Right now, if you talk to anybody, I mean, when I say anybody, all my friends who are not aviation experts, they are scared to fly on these small planes.
This man was seeing his wife off on a transcontinental flight at Kennedy Airport this morning.
If your wife had to get on a commuter airplane, would you be nervous?
I wouldn't let her get on the plane, to be honest with you.
But airline analysts say that passenger fear may not prove to be such a problem for the smaller commuter airlines, since so many of their passengers are business people who must fly even if they are nervous about it. Instead, their challenge will be the tougher safety standards set by the government.
Along with crew training, perhaps changing the hours these people are flying, all of those sorts of things are going to add to the cost of operating a commuter airline company.
In other words, safety costs money. So much money that at least some of the smaller independent companies may go broke. As for the survivors, expect them to pass on at least some of their costs to customers. John Donovan, ABC News, New York.
It was 2 years ago now that a 7-year-old boy was killed in the crossfire of a gang shootout in Chicago's Cabrini Green housing project, one of those places where gunfire and death has become almost routine. But that child's death seemed to shock everyone. Police, the people who run the project, even the gang members. Tonight, ABC's James Walker on Cabrini Green, 2 years later.
October 1992, 7-year-old Dantrell Davis was shot to death by a sniper while walking to school with his mother. He was the third child to be murdered in Cabrini Green within 8 months. His death left more of a legacy than this simple street sign outside his school.
It woke a lot of parents up. It woke them up. So close to home, it could have been theirs.
Residents of Cabrini demanded an end to the violence. Chicago police conducted sweeps confiscating drugs and weapons. But the most important change came when the 4 competing street gangs agreed to a ceasefire. Today, though not completely safe, parents are again walking their children to school, often taking the same path that led to Dantrell Davis's death.
At first, I wouldn't walk through here because this is like a real bad building, so I wouldn't walk through here.
And while the daytime terror has stopped, it has come with a price. The gang members, it turns out, had their own motive for the truce. The sudden attention from the media and Chicago police cut into their major business, selling drugs.
It was hard for them to sell that drugs as long as the killings were going on. So I think the older guys got together and told them, hey, listen, cool out the killing, and we can sell more drugs.
Police say they do the best they can with limited manpower and access to the apartments. But for the residents, the immediate challenge was to stop the killings.
You can't have it all. I want the children to stop dying. I want the gunshots to stop flying all day and all night. I want the elders to be able to go to the currency exchange, go to the store, go to church, and not fear that somebody's going to blow their brains out, snatch their pocketbook, or rape them.
That the truce is fragile, everyone agrees. That more parents must get involved, everyone agrees with that also.
All we do is take it day by day and just pray that it continues.
But Cabrini Green has taken a step forward. No other children have died in the last 2 years. James Walker, ABC News, Chicago.
Saturday Sports Report, just a moment.
Something's been overlooked in the design of women's razors. The woman. Now there's a razor that adjusts to your legs and underarms, even bikini line. Morelco Silhouette, the first razor designed to shave a woman where a woman shaves.
It's cold season. And for adult strength relief, many doctors recommend Dimetapp. What's more, in a recent study, the antihistamine in Dimetapp Extend tabs relieved allergic rhinitis symptoms better than a leading prescription antihistamine. Doctors have recommended the Dimetapp brand over 200 million times for sneezing, runny noses, and nasal congestion. For adult strength cold and allergy relief, remember, doctors recommend Dimetapp.
Mice. For everyone you see, there may be 15 or 20 that you don't see, and they eat in many different places. A very unhealthy situation. But put Decon Mouseproof in the places mice feed, like behind the refrigerator, the cupboard, the washer, and you'll eliminate them faster. Decon Mouseproof gets mice right where they live.
Yummy! My favorite, fried dumplings. And soy sauce. That's okay.
She uses Advanced Formula Resolve Carpet Cleaner. It even gets out greasy combination stains.
When we asked people to guess the name of our new line of cereals from Kellogg's,
I got it. Mega Flake Pleasers. Sweet Honey Bonanza.
no matter which delicious kind they tried, no one guessed they were a healthy choice.
I love this stuff.
Maybe they were surprised by so much baked-in flavor, whole grains touched with honey, cinnamon, or brown sugar. Okay, New Healthy Choice cereals from Kellogg's.
Healthy choice. Fine.
It really doesn't matter what it's called. The taste will sell it.
When he asked what she wore, it was always Red Door. So sensuous, so alluring, so inviting. Red Door, the irresistible fragrance from Elizabeth Arden. Open it.
America's team and more in tonight's sports report. ABC's Dick Schaap is in New York. Dick, good evening.
Thank you, Aaron. The coach who is called the General today ran into a coach who is rising fast through the ranks. The General prevailed. Bobby Knight's Indiana team routed Roy Williams' Kansas team, the first defeat for the Jayhawks. The Central Division of the National Football Conference could end up in a four-way tie after second-place Detroit beat first-place Minnesota today. The Vikings' Chris Carter set an NFL record for receptions in a season. The Lions' Mel Gray tied an NFL record by returning a kick for a touchdown for the 9th time in his career. And his teammate, Barry Sanders, ran for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns and needs 169 yards more next week to reach 2,000. Right now, the San Francisco 49ers have the best record in the NFL, but they can hear footsteps. They won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They won the Super Bowl 1 year ago. And now the Dallas Cowboys are trying to become the first team to win the Super Bowl 3 years in a row.
How much does that mean to you, do what no team has ever done?
I think it means everything to everybody around here.
Touchdown, Michael Irvin, who caught 11 passes in the 2 Super Bowl victories. Troy Aikman, the Super Bowl MVP 2 years ago. And Emmitt Smith, the Super Bowl MVP 1 year ago. 3 of the keys to the Cowboys' success are back this season. But the 4th key, the coach, Jimmy Johnson, is not. Johnson and the Cowboys' owner, Jerry Jones, had a personality conflict. Guess who won that match? Jones picked Barry Switzer to succeed Johnson. Switzer had won 3 National Collegiate Championships at Oklahoma, but he had left with the program tarnished by a variety of scandals. He had never coached a pro team, had not coached anywhere for 5 years.
When you heard that Barry Switzer was going to be the coach, what was your immediate reaction?
Probably the way that my reaction is to the question.
I hope I can. At a news conference to announce his appointment, Switzer was so pumped up, he seemed out of control.
We got a job to do, and we're gonna do it, baby!
Reporters predicted Switzer would self-destruct. The Cowboys would fall apart. Wrong on both counts. Despite coming up inches short of victory against Cleveland last week, the Cowboys have the 2nd best record in the NFL this season, and the most humble coach.
There's not one guy that does it. I know it takes everybody from the guy in the back that washes the jocks and socks all the way to the guy owner of this team.
Switzer quickly won over his players. Even Irvin, who was the Cowboy most upset by the sacking of Johnson, his college coach.
Jimmy worked out how to fit, get the job done. I'll get somebody to get it done. Very tactical. It's like, he'll say stuff like, hey, I heard you was the best. I'm going to sit on the sideline. Just show me. Just show me.
He does know football, and he definitely knows people and football players. And I promise you, I don't hear a discouraging word in the locker room about this guy.
The Cowboys have clearly become Barry's boys. And the 57-year-old Switzer says he's fortunate to be coaching them.
I'm going to take advantage of it and enjoy it because I'm a short timer. I'm not going to be here a long time. I'm not starting out on a career.
Only 2 coaches have won Super Bowls in their first NFL season. Switzer would love to be the 3rd.
I do believe in fairy tales, Tinkerbell. I like Rudy and Field of Dreams and those things.
Switzer's dream season, San Francisco hopes to turn it into a nightmare, continues Monday night against New Orleans on ABC. Aaron?
Dick, thank you. And when we come back to Texas, where 2 Texas professionals are catapulting themselves to fame, if not exactly fortune.
Mothers have learned from countless doctors and pharmacists to take care of coughs with Robitussin. And they've taken this advice home. Robitussin, recommended by Dr. Mom. Ask your doctor or pharmacist.
Discover something new for regularity. Always made with the highest quality natural fiber. Metamucil, now at a surprisingly lower price.
I didn't think they could make Metamucil better, but they did.
Metamucil, the natural choice for regularity.
Hey, Remington, shave this.
The Remington Triple Foil. The only shaver with 3 narrow micro screens. Remington Triple Foil. If you can blow it, we can shave it.
And for women, a silky smooth shave in or out of the shower. The Remington Wet Dry.
For a touch of arthritis pain, my husband takes Advil. Doctors recommend Advil most for minor arthritis pain, and it's gentler on his stomach than aspirin. He says Advil lets him get back to doing what he loves. Nothing's been proven to last longer than Advil.
I'm David Brinkley. President Clinton calls it a middle-class Bill of Rights. The Republicans say it's about time. The American public hoping for a tax break. Sunday.
Finally tonight, a science lesson. Well, perhaps that's a bit strong. After all, this story concerns bowling balls, typewriters, and toilet bowls in flight. Yes, all those things can be made to fly, and although we can't think of a single reason why you'd want them to, 2 guys in Texas can and did. Their story from ABC's Charlie Murphy.
John Quincy's a Fort Worth dentist. Drilling teeth makes him a nice living, but he wanted more from life, something different.
Good morning, International Hurling Society. Yes, nowhere for real.
He and Richard Clifford, an engineer who lives in an old gym with his dogs and books, went back 400 years to Leonardo da Vinci for an idea. A trebuchet, a medieval catapult. Theirs has a 30-foot arm and 2,200 pounds of counterweight. It can throw a bowling ball a lot farther than Don Carter ever did. It's an exercise in physics with a little showbiz thrown in. Leonardo meets Rube Goldberg, and an Olympia typewriter sets an Olympic record. How did a couple of guys from Fort Worth, Texas, a dentist and an engineer, come up with this contraption? Leonardo was the intellectual model, Monty Python, the inspiration.
Both of us had watched Monty Python back in the late 70s throw a cow over a castle wall. And I guess that had stayed with us.
Their next machine is going to throw a car. Richard's already working on Thor, which will be the world's largest catapult.
We probably, I believe, started out thinking that we might make a machine that would throw, you know, a couple 100 pounds or something, but we got to thinking about it, well, hey, this is Texas.
3, 2, 1, ignition.
It's kind of awesome to see a toilet bowl flying through the air, but what would really impress people is to throw a Buick. John's wife, Karen, thinks that will raise a little money for her hospice charity. Will there be Buicks flying over Texas next summer?
Well, you know, they say if you can get a lever big enough, you can move the world. That's really what it is. It's a lever.
A real man from Texas.
Charles Murphy, ABC News, Fort Worth.
Science lesson and all. That's our report for tonight. I'm Aaron Brown. For all of us at ABC News, good night.
From Washington, this has been World News Saturday.
New puffs are puffed for greater softness. Softness twice as many noses prefer.
I don't want it to blow out at a crucial moment.
And puffs are strong, stronger than that leading regular tissue.
I just broke my old habit.
I'm going to switch to puffs. Still softest on your nose through all the blows.
Old nose, new tricks, new puffs.
Don't touch the thing. Squeeze. It's big squeeze.
Charmin' Big Squeeze. It's too big to ignore. It's a roll and a half.
And a little bit more.
It lasts so long, you'll change it less. And with squeezable softness, you'll know it's the best. Charmin' Big Squeeze, it's got more sheets. 60%, that's 62 feet. Get the Big Squeeze from Charmin', it's a roll and a half.